The outside of Trinity Church is a better photograph, probably. Seen that movie with Nick Cage, National Treasure. You guys, the National Treasure Church. Look at this photo. The Nick Cage Church. What's going on, guys? Welcome. You made it. You're back with your boy, Jimmy out of Brooklyn, Slim Jim Jammer. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about New York City again. Today, we're talking about free things to do in New York City. Now, guys, make sure you stick around to the end of the video, because at the end of the video, I'm going to reveal the very best thing to do for free in all New York. And I'll also reveal the very worst thing to do for free in all New York. When you come to New York City and you ain't got much scratch, you spent all your money to get here, right? You had to cobble together some cash just to afford the plane or the train or the boat, or you swam here across the ocean or something like that, but you ain't got much left. You blew it on the hotel, you blew it on arriving, and now you're in New York City. With the exception of transportation between all these different sites and things that I'll tell you about, all these different sites that I will show you are free. $0. I think there's an exception on the list. Something is like $3, but everything else totally free. Free in NYC. One of those things that costs nothing to go to, and you get fantastic photos from it. The Brooklyn Bridge. It's got a boardwalk down the center of it. You can walk the Brooklyn Bridge totally for free. I usually suggest to folks, unless you have some sort of destination to get to in Brooklyn, you just walk halfway across the thing, get as many pictures as you can of the Manhattan skyline and such, and then you walk back. Place you can go to if you want, over the bridge into Brooklyn, you can go and check out the Fulton Ferry Landing. The Fulton Ferry Landing is a beautiful views of Manhattan. People might say it's better at night, but it's down at the bottom of Fulton Street. You can see it from Manhattan. It's basically at the base of the Brooklyn Bridge there. You get views of the Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan skyline. Totally free. Now, you might have heard of it, and you don't have to be taking a train to go. Grand Central Terminal. No, it's not technically Grand Central Station. Grand Central Station is the post office. It's in Midtown. But Grand Central Terminal is considered to be one of the most beautiful train stations in the world. Gorgeous, my guy. Got a beautiful mural on the ceiling there with all the different constellations. Constellations is made to look reversed, to be like what you would see as if you was God looking down. They got great food over there in Grand Central the same way. A lot of movies were filmed in that lobby of Grand Central. Of course, all the railroads and such. But it's definitely worth a look. Outside of the building, gorgeous as well. Gigantic statues on that thing. Greek personas. It's a cool situation. Now we're talking about views. You want to go and see the Statue of Liberty, but you want to go for free, my guy? You ain't got to go all the way out there to the island to do the whole rigmarole with security and being, huddled in with the masses trying to get over to the island, spending like 4 hours and all that. Just take the Staten Island Ferry. Staten Island Ferry is a commuter ferry that will take you across to Staten Island. But you go through the New York Harbor, and the New York Harbor ain't quite so big that you don't see the Statue of Liberty over there. And since it's commuter ferry and there's no way to get to Staten Island on the subway, no form of public transit except for that ferry, it runs 24 hours a day. On the half hour, or in the middle of the night, it's like every hour on the hour, and you take that thing a half hour there, half hour back, hour for the whole ride, round trip. Beautiful view of the Statue of Liberty. And it's my favorite price. No money. Free. Now, another thing you can go to do, of course, in New York City that's free, all of the New York City parks. Parks in New York. Gorgeous. Now, of course, the most famous of the parks in New York City you go to see, Central Park. You could spend all day in Central Park. Walk all around the thing. It's beautiful. They designed it so every single place you go in the park is like you're walking through a painting. Every time you turn around a corner, you're like, looks all arranged. Because they built the entire thing, my guy. It ain't nature. Not one bit of it. It's what nature would look like if nature was designed by people. For the reason, very beautiful. Aside from just like all the beautiful arrangements of nature and the fake, lakes they got inside the park, you can go there and see gorgeous statues. They got one of like Alice in Wonderland. You can go over there, see the John Lennon Memorial for the Beatle that got killed. R.I.P. You can go and see a castle. They got a castle inside of Central Park. The zoo costs money, though. Central Park Zoo costs money. So it's not part of the free things, but you could, look from the outside in. And if you look from the outside in, you could see, some animals from outside. As we do, you can go over the fence. But Central Park, seasonally, they got free events there. You can go see free concerts in Central Park. Big names go and play. Beyonce people, stuff like that. They got Shakespeare in the park. Free. You want to see old Shakes? Shakes is doing stuff. And we're talking parks. Go to Washington Square Park. Got that beautiful archway. You've been to France, my guy? You know when they got that archway in France? I don't remember what they call it. Arc de Triomphe? Something like that, right? We got our own Arc de Triomphe in New York. Right over Washington Square Park. We copied it, took the French stuff off of it, slapped a couple of Washingtons on there, baby. Make it American. That park also great if you want to see street performers, you want to see a magician, you want to see some musicians, you want to play street chess. Talked about that in one of my other videos. You can challenge guys on the street to chess. Got the board set up. A lot of fun. Washington Square Park, famously in Old Gallows of New York. So it's haunted too. That's always fun. Also the Potter's Field, so not only did you get hanged, but then they put you right over on the other side when they was done. Still talking parks now. We got Battery Park. Battery Park got the old military battery there. That's where people leave if they want to go to the statue, but it's got a nice free museum on the inside there. Got a big cannon and stuff back from the 1800s. Battery Park got some beautiful memorials and statues inside of it as well. You can look at the beautiful carousel. They got a fish carousel there. It's a couple of bucks, but you could look at it, take a picture for free. See the Statue of Liberty off the end of Battery Park there too. That don't cost nothing. They got the building across the street from it from Men in Black. One of my favorite parks, Columbus Park, down in Chinatown. You want to go hear some Chinese authentic music? I don't know if it's Chinese opera or what. They'll be singing, playing instruments. See people doing Tai Chi. Very cool. All the folks in Chinatown down there playing Chinese poker, Chinese chess. Very, very nice vibes in Columbus Park. Grab some dim sum, hang out, watch the world go by. That is one of the best things to do in New York City. People watching. One of the best places to do people watching. Another square or another park. Union Square Park. Always people, wild folks down there in Union Square Park. I talked about that in another video as well. But a great place for people watching. Times Square. Now some people love the big screens and stuff like that. That's all well and good, but you see some wild characters in Times Square. Wacky folks. Aside from the Elmos and, you know, the Mickey Mouses. New York City moments, as we call. Things that you will never forget might happen in Times Square. But I put that out there for you. You got the World Trade Center Memorial. You know, it's very somber. Leave you contemplative afterwards. But it's gorgeous. You know, they did a beautiful job honoring all of them folks from such a terrible tragedy. Beautiful big pools they got down there. No charge to get in. Museum costs money, but the memorial, that's free, my guy. Same thing, you walk down over to Wall Street, you can see the outside of the Stock Exchange, see the outside of Federal Hall. Federal Hall you can walk into as well, that's free. Old buildings, beautiful. We was talking parks, I forgot one. The High Line Park. If you ain't never heard of the High Line, my guy, they got an old freight railroad track that has been since converted into a park. So back in the old days of New York, they used to get the goods all around the city, freight railroads. It was sort of loud and noisy if you lived in the buildings by the railroad. Trust me, if that railroad came by, you were in your apartment like, terrible. The railroads used to go into the factories. They would unload them right on the factory floor, keep them going. It was quite dangerous. People used to get hit by the railroad cars going by. It got so bad, I actually used to have these people would ride down where the railroad tracks were on horseback, called the West Side Cowboys. And the West Side Cowboys make sure you get off the railroad tracks before you get squashed. Wild times. But the High Line, beautiful park now. Not too old. I think they made the thing 2009, something like that. But they said, well, we can't get rid of this track. It's like built into buildings. It's like too stratified. You know, we got to set dynamite charges. And New York City is too hemmed in over there. So what are we gonna do? So they beautified it and it revitalized the whole neighborhood. So now you go over there and you're walking on this twisty little track. It's beautiful, old, you know, tree lined, and all the plant life that's on the High Line is real plants that would actually grow in the area native. You see the buildings all around you sprouting up too, like they're trees. It's very cool stuff. One thing you could go if you want to do for free in New York City, you want to get a little worship, go to some of them big, beautiful cathedrals we got. We got St. Patrick's Cathedral, St. Patrick's largest Roman Catholic cathedral outside of, you know, the Vatican over there. Big time, my God. We don't mess around. Right across from Rockefeller Center. Got beautiful stained glass. They do it up inside there. Catholic Church don't mess around when it comes to cash and, you know, making that spread. Another beautiful church you can check out for free. Riverside Church. Don't sleep on Riverside Church. Made by the Rockefeller family. It's got a steel frame on the inside, so it's like a skyscraper. Got that bell tower all the way uptown. Inside that bell tower got one of the biggest bells in the world. And right across from that, you got Grant's tomb. You know my guy, Ulysses S. Grant? He got a tomb like he's a mummy. Him and his wife are inside there. They're entombed. They're entombed there because he wanted to be buried with his wife she wasn't a soldier, so she couldn't be buried in a military cemetery. So they put us in the tomb. It's the biggest tourist attraction in the U.S. till they made a Statue of Liberty. Now people are like, who cares? But Grant, you know, Hero of the Civil War? I don't know. He's on the $50 bill. Now, this is another one that is seasonally. You can always go any time of year, really, to Rockefeller Center. But the best time to go to Rockefeller Center, same like I say, talked about in another video. For free, though, you can see all of those beautiful Christmas decorations. All the lights of New York. Now, again, at Rockefeller, they got the gigantic Christmas tree. But all over New York City around Christmas time, beautiful lights and decorations everywhere you go. That's something, like I say, don't cost nothing. All you gotta do is walk around and take it in. Rockefeller Center is like the hub, the center of it. But Saks Fifth Avenue, they got beautiful decorations on the outside. And the holiday windows, Macy's department store famously, they got gorgeous holiday windows. You go all around town and just look inside those windows. They spend like upwards of millions of dollars just to design those windows. And they got special people where their job is to design the windows for holidays. So they don't mess around. The only rule that they always have for those holiday windows is there's no products in the windows. It's just like a holiday scene. Like, you know, they do Peanuts, you know, Christmas Carol, all this kind of stuff. Another park you go check out, Bryant Park. Bryant Park, you got wireless internet access in the whole park, right by Times Square, just down the street. They got a carousel inside the park. That costs money, but you can take a photo of it for free. And in the summertime, in Bryant Park, they got free movie screenings. Every Monday night, you can go and see a free movie over there, like almost like a drive-in, but you just sit on the grass. They got free Broadway show recitals as well. And they don't go in costume, but they do like the actual stars of the show will come and give you a song or two from their show to try to attract you to buy a ticket. Ain't too bad. I did that one time. You can take a walk down to the West Side Highway, take some photos of the Intrepid Museum. They have a whole aircraft carrier with all these beautiful weapons of war on the top, parked over there in the harbor. They got a submarine there too. You know, you can go inside if you want to pay some cash, but for free, you just go and take pictures of it. Just to go sit down there and eat lunch. Look at the nukes. You know? Now, of course, I was talking about people watching before, which you can do all around New York, or just walking through neighborhoods of New York City. A lot of fun. Again, there's many places you can go and spend lots of cash throughout the city, but if you just want to go and enjoy yourself walking around, some places to go walking to explore neighborhoods, Chinatown, Soho, walk down there to Greenwich Village, you can go to Harlem. And if you wanted to go out into Brooklyn, you can check out areas like East Williamsburg and Bushwick if you want to see some of that famous New York City graffiti, right? People want to go and see beautiful murals. Head out to Brooklyn on the L train. All the different talk shows in New York City, they all film for free. If you want to go and be like in the studio audience of one of those shows, you know, it doesn't cost anything. All you got to do is you go on their website or something and you sign up like ahead of time, way ahead of time, and you get your tickets. They may have you waiting around for a while before you get to see the show, but you get to go and sometimes meet the famous actors or come and shake your hands and stuff like that. Not a dime, my guy. You can go and check out some stand-up comedy. People doing comedy in New York City all the time. Plenty of shows with some big famous names on them that'll cost you money. Not too much, probably. New York is kind of, you know, they got small venues, so it's not going to be crazy bucks. But if you want to go see some free comedy, you can go down and check out one of New York City's many different open mics. You got open mics all around the city. See some of the up-and-coming acts here in New York. And there's free comedy shows they have all around, too. Little bars and stuff like that. You'll be hanging out, having yourself a drink. All of a sudden, somebody's got a mic in their hand and they're yelling at you, making fun of the way you cut your jib. It is what it is, you know. Other buildings you can go and take pictures of here in New York. Beautiful buildings. Doesn't cost anything to go down and take a photo. The Flatiron Building, you can go. That big triangular one you might have seen in Spider-Man. Got the United Nations. Get the picture with all them flags outside. Then you can go see like what is almost like a semi-professional basketball game down in Greenwich Village. Down in the village, they got the cage. Some seriously polished basketball players going at it. And there's giant crowds watching them all the time. It's a lot of fun. They don't sell tickets for it. You just hold on to the gate and you're looking in, watching them ball. If you catch one of the many parades in New York City, don't charge nothing for the parades. And those parades in New York get some pretty big time. We got your smaller parades, maybe for like Tartan Day or something, but the big time parades, Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, where you got giant balloons, giant Pikachu and all that kind of stuff, Goku. Those parades, you just plan your trip around coming on Thanksgiving. Same way. All you gotta do is pay to get here, pay for your hotel. All of a sudden, you're watching that parade, which costs millions of dollars for free. Just know there's gonna be millions of other tourists trying to see it as well. So, it's the only issue with the free things. Sometimes they may be crowded because they don't cost nothing. Same thing if you want to go and see a street fair here in New York City. We got street festivals, all different kind of stuff happening. Now, there's again, of course, plenty of vendors and things like that. But you don't have to buy nothing. You can just go take in the fresh air, take in the vibes. There's some free music performances going on at these festivals. A lot of fun. If you want to venture out into Brooklyn, like I already talked about the Fulton Ferry Landing, but you guys could go down to Prospect Park. Prospect Park is a park made by the same guys who made Central Park, but they called Prospect Park their masterpiece because they didn't have roads and stuff down the middle of it. You know, taking you out of the illusion that you're in nature. Prospect Park is gorgeous as well. You also got Coney Island. You want to head down to the beach, my guy? And the surf is not dangerous? I mean, surf is always dangerous. Water is always dangerous. Be careful for the undertow, my guy. But we don't have surfing kind of waves over here in the city. Coney Island, you got the mellow beach. Got people down there playing music on the boardwalk. A lot of fun. They got the amusement park there. Got the baseball stadium. Cyclones, a lot of places to spend money, but if you just want, you could go and vibe out. You ain't got to spend a dime. That's the thing. You don't have to spend cash most places. You can, but you don't have to. So it's up to you on where you want to spend and where you want to save. So I want to give you guys the opportunity to be able to see the options before you. And, you know, maybe you see places where you can cut some corners, save a little bit of scratch, reinvest it later in your trip. You can go and take that Roosevelt Island tram. This is the one exception I said I was going to make in the video for something that costs money. Roosevelt Island train costs same as the subway. So it's like $2.75. But again, if you saw the old OG Spider-Man movie, you might remember him like holding onto a little tram over the East River. And he's got his webs and such. You could be on that tram over to Roosevelt Island. They used to be called Blackwell's Island, and they had an asylum out there. So it's spooky. We could do that for like $3. It ain't free, but it's almost. You could always get a view of the Empire State Building. You can see the Empire from a lot of different places in New York. One of the best spots if you want to get that perfect shot of the Empire. You can go and see it from the corner of 42nd Street and 6th Avenue over the top of Bryant Park. You can also go down to the corner of 28th Street and 5th Avenue, see it up the street there. A lot of different beautiful angles to get that photo of the Empire. Now, for one, if you're going to get transportation between all these different sites, make sure you get some good shoes because you're going to be walking all over the place. And I also do suggest, if you can, to take the subway. The cheapest way to ride the subway in New York City is by getting an unlimited pass. You get an unlimited subway pass. I believe it's like $33 for the week. So let's just take that out of the equation. Like I said, we're not talking about transportation right now. The sites themselves are free. Subway costs money. You could walk the whole way, but you won't have as much time to do what you need to do. So if you want to go totally free, you could walk to every site. Everything is technically walking distance, depending on how tired you get. Miles apart and such sometimes, but sometimes right next to each other. I'm not going to do them in the order of where they are. Probably going to cut that out. So guys, if I have to reveal my favorite pick, my number one pick for the best free thing to do in New York City, I'm going to have to go with the Brooklyn Bridge. Could have guessed it, maybe. I mean, the Brooklyn Bridge, it's a classic. It's a feat of human engineering. This thing is ridiculous. It's so nice. A lot of the other stuff in New York City it's good, but that Brooklyn Bridge is unforgettable. It's on another level. It's on par with some of the world's greatest creations. And if I had to have my worst pick for something free to do in New York City, it would probably be Wall Street, Federal Hall. I mean, those buildings are all right. They're fine. Look nice from the outside, I guess. Nobody even really knows what they are until they get there, and then they see them and they go, oh, this is even here? I didn't even know this was a thing. And I go, yeah, it's a thing. You know, the stock exchange is a fancy building. They go, oh, it's fancy, yeah. I go, yeah. And they go, what is Federal Hall? And I go, it's the place where they wrote the Federalist Papers and the old capital of the U.S. They go, oh, the capital of the U.S. was in New York? And you go, yeah, the capital was here in New York. I go, wow, I never knew that before. And they go, I know, it's amazing, isn't it? They go, ah, well, it's okay. So, that's a maybe. You could do it if you're down there, but it ain't nothing super special. The outside of Trinity Church is a better photograph, probably. Seen that movie with Nick Cage, National Treasure. You guys, the National Treasure Church. Look at his photo. The Nick Cage Church. Used to be the tallest building in all New York when it was a town. That's why they make those church steeples so tall so you can see them down the road. It doesn't work in New York with the skyscrapers. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking around and giving me such nice feedback and comments. The same if you'd like, please leave your comments for your best free things to do in New York City down below. As well, if you have anything that I missed, make sure that you let me know about it. If there's something that you hated about my video, let me know about it. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. If you enjoyed the content, make sure that you guys subscribe. Again, I've been your boy, Jimmy out of Brooklyn, Slim Jim Jammer. See you next time, my guy. Freaking cat hair. You're making so much hair, cat. This is insane. I can see it in the dang light. All right, cat. That's it. Go, go, go. Vamos. Is this stuff picking up on the camera? Who knows? Cat hair like flying through the air here. What are you doing to me, kitty?